Yeah, this is Oz here again with Who Dat Steppers, and I Can Make You Dance. This week we're starting our 6-beat dance week. Now, the last week, last month, we were doing 4-beat dances, and so what I'm going to do this week, start with the 6-beat dances, because there are way more, at least I know way more 6-beat dances than I do 4-beat dances, right? So, it's a good opportunity to show you the similarities between these dances, right? And the one constant between them is music. So I pulled out Skippy Blair's Universal Unit System cards. But this is a system of dance. That's what I'm teaching you, a system that you just learned this one. If you understand this system, it applies to all dances, right? So this week, what I'm going to be working on is we're going to be working on hand dance and Dallas Fort Worth swing. And the reason why is because both of these dances dance to the same rhythm and have the same dance rhythm, right? And this is what I've been trying to show you guys all along. Now, if you notice, this week, I didn't have the cards last week, but this week, the last second session we were doing before beat dance. Now, these are two separate cards, right? The big cards represent the music, right? See, the music is an even pair, right? And this represents what your feet are doing. And so what you're basically doing, you're putting the musical pattern and you're putting your feet, moving your feet to the musical pattern. So now your feet has a dance pattern that matches the music, right? And this is the problem that most people have with dance, is that especially when they're taught to just count steps, because they never factor in the music. And that's the one most important thing about dancing, is the music, right? You gotta factor in the music, or you're really not learning how to dance, right? If you can't hear the music. Most people problem that they can't hear the music. So the last week we were teaching 4-beat dances, right? This is a double. Remember I told you, rule of 3, there's a single, a double, and triples. Well, then this is what we're doing, right? Double, triple this week, right? And remember I was saying we were dancing to 4 beats, right? All the dances I showed you last week, the walk, Houston two-step, and Zydeco, only dance to 4 beats of music, right? And you must have a minimum of 4 beats of music to dance. So that's what we're doing. We're dancing to 4 beats of music, right? Well, now this week are the 6-beat dances, right? And now I'm showing you the similarities between these dances. So what I'm going to start with, hand dance. And I'm going to start with the old school version, right? There's a new school version that where it has evolved, and it looks a whole lot like West Coast swing, right? But the old school version that I learned from my sister when I was coming up didn't have a lane, right? They would just have, they just do their thing, right? But the rhythm is double, triple, right? Now here's the thing. Now remember, I told you that they are the rule of 3. Remember, if you remember these things, it makes it easy, right? There's only 3 foot patterns, right? You got to do a single, a double, or a triple, right? And you basically have 2 beats, an odd and an even, right? And the one common thing that the odd rhythms have, all odd rhythms have in common, is that your first step begins and ends on the same foot, right? So when I do 1, that's it, right? So the next rhythm I start, the odd rhythm 1, it's gonna be on my right foot. Starts and ends on that same foot. What the importance of that is because when you do a triple rhythm, we start introducing triples. And we didn't do triples last week. Now we're doing triples. Now when you start doing triple, it's an odd rhythm, but it's still the same thing. It begins and ends on the same foot. What I mean by that, if I do a triple, 1 and 2, it begins on my left foot and ends on my left foot. When I do the next one, I begin on my right foot and end on my right foot. 3 and 4. Same thing if I go backwards. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. All right? Show you how that looks. Well, I can show you that later. But when I start doing the pattern, I'll show you both ways, because people have been getting comments that look, I need to do the same again. I know that's a little confusing, but I got a limited amount of time, so I'm trying to get a lot of stuff in, right? And so with the hand dance rhythm is this, right? 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Now this is where posture becomes important. Posture is always important, but when you start doing triple rhythms and when you start doing the turns and spins, it's always important to keep that weight evenly distributed over your base, right? Whether it's a 2-foot base with your feet, both feet, or whether it's a single base with 1 foot, you want to try to keep your weight over that, right? It's going to make sense later when you start doing turns, right? You don't want to do turns like this, right? Because now you're shifting your base. It's much easier, and the smaller steps you take, the better, right? I'm doing a turn. If I did 1, 2, I keep my feet here, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. I'm keeping my weight here. I'm not doing this. 1, picking my feet up, and now I'm shifting that center point, right? For gravity. So that's important. So when we do this rhythm for hand dance is for the lead. The lead always starts on the left, follow always starts on the right, right? Being politically correct, male, female, right? 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Remember, rule of 3. 3 parts to every dance. You have the beginning, the middle, and the end. You have the basic, you have a half turn, and you have a full turn. That's every dance. They may call it something different, but that's all it is, right? And sometimes your basic will be side to side, sometimes it'll be a walk, right? But you're gonna have your basic, right? Especially when you start dealing with 6-beat dance, right? Because you use that 1, 2 is to get you moving, right? In a direction, right? Now, the reason why I wanted to show you this particular pattern, right? Because, and this is what I'm telling you, how all the dances are really just basically the same dances. What really happens is your directions, the direction change. I'm doing the same pattern for a hand dance, 1, 2, the same rhythm, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, as I would do for Dallas footwork, right? Dallas footwork swing. That would be 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Exact same rhythm. The only thing that changed was the direction of what I was doing. The pattern, the direction I was changed, but the rhythm pattern didn't change. So the reason why this is important, whatever dance you learn first, you automatically, you know how to do the other one, right? All you gotta do is learn the direction, right? So what I mean is when you're doing hand dance, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. All you do is change that from 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Same thing, exact same rhythm. That's why it's important to count rhythms and timing, because that's what you're working with, time. That gives you the time, right? Then counting steps, right? Because if I was counting steps, it'll still be the same number of steps, 8, right? But where you get your timing at, you know, that's the difference between neither. It's not incorrect to count steps, but you lose an important element of dance when you don't put, because it's patterns, right? Rule of 3. Timing, patterns, and connection. That's all dance is, right? The timing comes from the music, the pattern comes from the music in the foot pattern, and the connection, you connect to the music, right? And you connect to your partner, right? So that's basically all we're doing, right? So I'm gonna show you that, I'm gonna show you the lead and and then I'm gonna show you the follow from the back. For both dances, because like I said, it's basically the same thing, right? So you have a lot of time to practice, right? So when we're doing hand dance, the lead starts on his left foot. It will be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, right? If we were doing Dallas Fort Worth, it would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Right? If I did it from the follower, as a follower, I would start on my right. And that should be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. If we was doing the Dallas Fort Worth swing, it'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. All right. That's the basic pattern. The pattern, the rhythm pattern is exactly the same. What changes is the direction of the dance. What the direction that you're going, right? The only difference. So again, the rule of 3. Basic, half turn to full turn. If I did a half turn, they're exactly the same thing. Now what you may be doing, your location may be slightly different, especially with old school hand dances, you didn't have a slot, right? Dallas Fort Worth has a slot. Chicago Stepping has a slot. West Coast Swing has a slot, right? That's a new thing, right? When they first started doing Lindy Hop, which is the grandfather of all these dances, West Coast, country, whatever you want to call it, it's all started from Lindy Hop, right? They're all variations of that. But they didn't have a slot, right? And then, you know, as they progress and people start coming up with systems like this, and as you get larger crowds, it makes sense to create a slot. So that way everybody is not bumping into each other, right? So, but when you started hand dance, right, still the same thing applies. When you do a turn, a full turn, right? Let's do a half turn, right? If I do a half turn for the following, it would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Other way, it's still the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Same thing for the following, right? It will be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. All right. Same thing the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. That's for the same turn. If I show you, I'm gonna show you for Dallas Fort Worth, right? Dallas Fort Worth call they half turn. Like I said, these are all the same moves, all the same basic principles. They just call it different names. They call it a what do they call it? A transition. Right? Good name, because you transition from one side to the other. That's all the half turn is. You transition from one direction in the room to the other direction. Right? So when you do the transition, we was doing Dallas Fort Worth, same thing, right? If I started as the leader, it'd be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, right? When he does a turn. Now I'm gonna show you when he's leading that turn, he doesn't do that same, he doesn't do it together with the lead, right? With the follow. But with the follow, it would look like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Right? Same thing. If I did it from the back, so we could do it with it, it would look like this. For hand dance, still the same thing, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Going back, same way. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. For the follow, still the same thing. You just start on my right foot. It'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Right foot. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. All right, so we did the basic, we did the half turner. Now I'm going to show you the full turn. I'm telling you, rule of 3. You just remember these little 3 things that you have to remember. Rules of 3 makes it a very, very easy thing for you to understand. So when we're doing the full turn, right? We did the basic, we did the half turn, the full turn, and I'm showing you both for the. And this, I'm sure, is once you learn this one dance, once you understand these principles, when you understand these principles, you got it, right? And that's what I told you. Once you learn this and understand this, but you got to practice it. It takes a little practice. The practice is for retention, because repetition builds retention. So the more you practice, okay, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and you're not thinking about it, right? Because that's what, when you're really proficient at it, when you partner dancing, there's so many things going on, and that's why it's good. It helps slow or prevent dementia, because you'll have so many things going on. You build new neurons in your head all the time. You know, it's not the same rote pattern like the line dance. You're doing the same thing over and over. This activity is good. Don't get me wrong. It's still good, but you're just doing it, repeating the same pattern over and over. When you partner dance, you don't know what's coming, so you got to be attentive, and that's building new neurons in your head all the time. This has been a scientific study, right? New England Journal of Medicine. So when we're doing, so we do this for Dallas Fort Worth, full turn, still gonna be the same thing, right? At least for a hand dance. Full turn is gonna be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, right? That's for the leader. If we did it for the follower, still do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Right? And that's basically it. Now, what I can do, I'm going to do these to music, right? I'm going to play a couple of songs and do it to music so that you can see how the rhythm. But it's basically the same dances, right? You just doing the motion of the dance is different. The direction is different, right? The pattern is the same, but your direction is different. That's what's really changing between the dances, right? So that's why it's good to understand is that this is double, triple, right? And it's the exact same thing. Now, what I'm gonna, after I demonstrate these, this to music, I'm gonna show you that there are different types of triples, right? And this makes the dance different. Each dance different, right? Distinguish it. It's a subtle difference, but this will make each dance look different, right? So I'm gonna do this, play some music. We gotta play some music, do a couple of these moves to music. And you can do it along with me. Let's do this too. We gotta get that last one. Let's go. Go to the library. Now remember, I like to start this slow so that you can get the hang of it, all right? Because it's actually harder to dance slow than it is to dance fast, all right? Here's another little tip about when you dance. Most songs start with an interlude, right? So that's where we kind of get your time together, right? 1, 2, that's footwork. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to do half turn. Bring me back. I'm going to show you how you can transition that triple to a single. Because you always start back on the same foot, so you don't have to do 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. It's the leader, right? I'm going to do it from the follow side, right? Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 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 4, 5, and 6. 2, now do a full turn. 5 and 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to do hand dance. Same thing. Follow. Half turn. Now do a full turn. Now do a half turn. And notice, I can do whatever I want my feet. You don't have to make that same pattern, right? You notice I was going in between the down footwork and hand dance. As long as you keep the rhythm, is what I tell you. Don't panic if you understand what you're doing, right? You can go in between. I can do that. Don't matter. See, so the most important thing is keeping the time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Get it? Now I'm going to show you how to lead the half turn for the leaders, right? Because you don't do it unless you're doing a release half. We do a release half turn, but if you're doing a release full turn, you will turn together, right? But if you're doing a half turn, they call it transition, and that's a good name for it because you're transitioning from side, right? you would have to get out the lane, right? And whether you're doing a slided dance or whether you're doing a dance with no slide like they do Lindy Hop, and like they do old school hand dance, you still have to, one is a signal to tell her, hey, look, I want you to move. And no, she can't go through you. You have to give her a signal, okay, look, I want you to go here. So you're going 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. You have to clear that lane, leaders. Ladies, when you see the guy get from in front of you, don't move with him. See what he's doing. That's a signal for you that he's about to do something different. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, right? And that 3 and 4 is when you are turning, right? You would be going, we were doing Dallas Fort Worth, you would be going 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. And he will be doing 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, right? And notice how when you, and this is for most dances, when you're doing 6-beat dances, you always, when you come out and out of the lane, that's another rule, right? The follower has the lane east and west. The leader goes, she has the lane north and south. And the leader goes east and west. He crosses in and out of the lane. So it's an important thing to remember, all these dances, when you're doing the 6-beat dances, and even when you're doing 4-beat dances, you have to get out of the lane. Except that when you're doing a 6-beat dance, you come back in on 4, right? So when I do this again, right, from the front, facing you, right, the leader will go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. From the back, you do it with me, it will be. And look, the timing goes for your hand too. Everything is based on the timing, right? That's why it's important for you to understand the time. Because when I go 1, I know I'm doing a turn, I'm getting up prepared, hey, I'm about to turn. 2, she's stepping up. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, right? And that's your turn is the little halo. Basically, you turning her around her center of gravity. That's why you don't want to do these big arm turns, because now you got her doing this, right? You want to do that little bitty small, keep it around her head, around her center of gravity, right? So you step out of the lane. 1, 2, getting the hand up, ready, 3 and 4. Always go back in on 4, 5 and 6. Your hand is down, right? That don't matter whether we're doing Chicago stepping, West Coast swing, it's always the same. It's a pattern. So if you understand that pattern, you will understand these dances, right? So I'm still going on time, I got about 10 more minutes. Now here's the important thing. Here's another rule of 3 for you to understand, right? I'm going to show you this. This is why I brought this out, because a picture's worth 1,000 words. Now next session, when I start doing the 8-beat dances, which is basically Lindy Hop and Detroit ballroom, I'm going to have to get another easel, push the door so I can get all 8 beats up here, right? Of course, there's 2 measures of music in 1 musical phrase, right? So when we start doing the 8-beat dances, then you will have 70 here. And when I'm talking about a musical phrase, and this is a good thing that you learn when you start learning rhythm and musicality, you're really, every song you're going to notice is going to a pattern, right? That's how they can write music. They follow the pattern. So every song you're going to, if you count the beats, and the 1, and the 2, and the 3, and the 4, and the 5, and the 6, and the 7, and the 8, every phrase, a sentence, is going to end in 8 beats. Let's start another 8 beats. And they do that for 4 phrases, right? So that's probably technical, but that's why this stuff works, because it really is a science, right? So what I'm going to show you now in these last few minutes is I'm going to show you the difference between the different triples, right? And this is going to blow your mind. This is the subtleties between these different dances, the different triples, right? Let's see. I'm going to do this. 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 Now, if you check these out, what's the difference, right? Remember I was counting? There's time here. This is why, even when you count, like you see somebody racing a stopwatch, there's tenths of a second between each second. This is why they added the ands and the up. When the big band leaders started swinging the beat, that's how I guess the name swing dance. They start going from straight count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now music, they count 4. Dance, they count 8, right? They call it dance 8. Excuse me. But look at these, this is the time, right? Now this is a rhythm for Chicago stepping. That's why Chicago stepping is not an easy dance to do, right? The rhythm that we were just doing is called a straight count rhythm. Straight count I triple rhythm, right? Notice, evenly split between the upbeat, the downbeat, and the upbeat, right? That dot is right in the center. Now, what these dots represent, the big dots meaning that you are stepping, you're moving, or you're having a weight transition on the number. The little dot means you're having a weight transition between the numbers, either on the and the up, right? And there is a distinction you're going to see, right? So when we're doing this triple, like now the two dances we're doing, it's a straight triple. Just like the count 1, 2, 3, 4 is 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. About even amount of time between each of those 3 steps. That's hand dance, and that's Dallas footwork. That's why they're so similar, right? Now when you do West Coast swing, look at this. It's not right in between the and the up. It's right on the up, right? So what that looks like is 3 and 4. 3 and 4. That's different from 3 and 4. It's 3 and 4. 3 and 4. 5 and 6. Right? That's why the dances look different, right? They're not doing the exact same triple, right? So a triple is not a triple, it's a triple. There's distinctions between each one of them. And these two are a little bit more complicated than that. That's pretty natural for people who want to do things in even spaces, right? Yeah, even numbers, right? Divide evenly, right? But when you start doing the rolling triples, what this is called for the West Coast swing, and the syncopated triples, which you do for Chicago stepping. Now, this is what makes stepping more challenging because people think that, especially if you're just counting numbers, you're thinking that this is the same distance, the same amount of time between this and, right? I mean, it's first of all, the extra step, because that's what a triple is. Moving your feet 3 times to 2 beats of music. That extra beat is in front of the downbeat. These rhythms, the extra beat is between after the downbeat or before the upbeat, right? So that's why stepping looks like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, right? 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, right? So we're gonna, I'm gonna go through the rest of these. For tomorrow, I think I'm gonna start working on showing you, no, we're gonna go over this tomorrow because there's some people who didn't make it today, we'll do it tomorrow. right? But next week, we'll be going over Chicago, West Coast Swing, and then we'll be going over Chicago Step, right? Those are other 6-beat dances. So I hope you got something out of this today. Hit me up. If you got any questions, leave a message. And I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good one.